Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are gonna talk all about Chris's test results from the blood work to the semen analysis to the MRI. We have had one of the hardest few weeks I think we've had in a while. It has been draining, hence not putting up videos for a little bit. I made a previous video talking about our plan of treatment, and that may be up already. That kind of turned into this. So Chris had to redo some tests. He had to go ahead and get some more blood work done. That blood work turned into an MRI. So at our plan of treatment visit, as I talked about in a previous video, we had some concerning information having to do with Chris's blood work. His prolactin was high and his testosterone was low, and they wanted him to repeat that to see if if anything indicated having an MRI done of his pituitary gland. Chris's new blood work came back and his testosterone was still low. It did go up, but it was still low in certain concerns of like the range. His new testosterone level was 222. His previous was I think like 195. And then the normal range is 250 to 827. So he's not quite in the normal range, but it did go up. His prolactin level was 12.7 this time, to the previous 20.5. And this was in normal range for a male, the 12.7. So not so much more concerning about the prolactin level. The doctor was still concerned with the testosterone level being so low. So he wanted to just rule out everything, and he ordered an MRI. Living with the fact that he had to have an MRI for like, I think 3 weeks, to determine whether or not he had a tumor on his pituitary gland, basically, has been a few of the hardest weeks I think I've ever had in my entire life. When we went back to the doctors to speak about the blood work and they told us about the MRI, we had some other information given to us as well. They went ahead and started Chris taking Clomid to help with the testosterone levels. So they only make Clomid in 50 milligram tablets. So he takes 25 milligrams every other day. So half a tablet every other day. And he's going to continue to do this for a while. And we'll retest his blood in a few weeks to see how that kind of goes. But they wanted to go ahead and get him started on that. And then they're just using the MRI to rule out anything. The doctor doesn't seem to be concerned, but I mean, when you hear, oh, you may have a tumor on your pituitary gland, of course you're gonna kind of take that step to, oh God, you know. I try and go off of how the doctor seemed, and he seemed not to be too concerned, and he seemed to be okay with it. So that's kind of like what I was going with. It's still kind of scary, but I was trying to stay positive for Chris during this whole thing, which was hard because I'm usually the one that's nervous and worried, and but I could see that he was, so I tried to kind of combat that a little bit. But that's what marriage is about, right? Teamwork. When we went back to the doctors for the blood work, we also went and talked about the semen analysis, the second one that he did, and the results of that came back with flying colors. It was 100 times better than the first one. What the doctors were saying is that I guess semen analyses are kind of like all over the place. He could have been really stressed that week or whatever, and that can really affect the analysis. So Chris's semen analysis came back and it was like 100 times better. The doctor said he had instead of 0.2 million, it was like 42 million. And I mean, things looked great. So they're not really concerned about that being part of our fertility issue. But as I was saying before, they were still concerned with the testosterone level, so they did want to do the MRI. We had to wait a couple of weeks before the hospital near us could work him into the MRI. And then we had that done last Monday or something like that. So when we went to have Chris's MRI done, we did it at the local hospital here. And his mother and I went with him, and we went back. They called him back, and we went into kind of this little sub-waiting area. And, you know, he's like, the tech tells you all the normal things. Are you wearing any metal? You know, take off your ring, give all your stuff, you know, hand over your stuff. And then they ask you this list of questions that have to do with, like, if you have, like, plates and, you know, any sort of metal in your body, which Chris doesn't, so that was all fine. And when the tech took him back, he said it'll be 45 minutes and we'll be back. So nothing takes exactly the time that they say, having to do with medical. Everybody knows this. So about an hour and 15-ish minutes later, they came out, and Chris has this look on his face like his world was just rocked, which was concerning to me. He was, you know, visibly upset about something and kind of holding his arm out funny. And the tech was like, here, wait here, and I'll get you some ice, and blah, blah, blah. So the tech went away, and Chris is like, well, they're probably going to have to do it again because they don't think the contrast went through my vein. And he held out his arm, and he had like a big bulge on his arm, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I go, well, yeah, no wonder. It looks like the contrast is all under your skin right there. And Chris goes, yeah, the IV popped out and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, he blew a vein. Like, that's what happened. He blew a vein. But later we did find out that the tech had the IV machine that runs the contrast through the IV, like at a certain speed, kind of. He had that machine turned up too high and blew Chris's vein. So all the contrast was under his skin where the needle was in there. So Chris is pissed. He's hurting. His arm is like huge and it's burning, obviously, because he has all this contrast under his skin. And he's like, well, we need to get it done, or the doctor is just gonna send you back because he doesn't have the pictures he needs. So I'm like, okay, Chris, I know, you know, you're in pain, blah, 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 but we need to just get this done because we need to figure out what's going on. So he's like, okay. And then they went back in there, and about 30 to 45 minutes later, Chris came out, and he was like, okay, they got him, and then, you know, was really in a hurry to leave, which I don't blame him. So it was an ordeal, to say the least, with regards to the MRI, but we got it done. And then they said that the results were supposed to be back in a couple of days. I called my doctor's office. They didn't have them. So, the nurse at the doctor's office said, you know, I'll call them and I'll give you a call tomorrow. And this was like on a Thursday. So Friday came around, and they called us, and she's like, it's completely normal. Everything's normal. And so we were really excited about that. Obviously, I had an idea from the way that the doctor was with regards to it, that it was all going to be okay. But, you know, just not knowing for sure is kind of a weight. But Chris sighed a big sigh of relief, and we told his mom, and so we were pretty happy about those results. And they did tell him to keep taking the Clomid and to retest his blood work here in a little bit, you know, in a week or so. So that's our plan currently. We had all his blood work. His SA came back great. His blood work did improve, but the testosterone was still low, so he is going to continue on the Clomid. And we are going to wait and see what's next. The next video I'm going to come out with will be a new plan of treatment for actual fertility treatments this time. I do already have some information with regards to that, but I want to have all of the information together before I post that new video. And I want to have everything set and ready to go so I can explain everything. We're really excited. The doctors are planning to start all those treatments on my next cycle. So we are like in it to win it. We will be updating you, or I will be updating you with videos as much as I possibly can. But still look for new videos twice a week. Now that everything has calmed down, I'm going to go back to my schedule and make sure that I am posting some content for you on a weekly basis. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to continue to follow our journey, please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notifications on when I upload my next video. I will be kind of going in and out of the trying to conceive videos or TTC's videos, along with some other content, just so it's not so medical all the time on this channel. So please look forward to that, and leave in the comments below if you've ever had to have a brain MRI or know somebody who's had a brain MRI, and how did that go for y'all. Hopefully it wasn't quite as dramatic as Chris's visit. But until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.